Good morning, children. We will continue with the text of Tempest. We had last done till line number 35. So we will do a quick revision. So we saw that they were coming back from Tunis on a ship when they met with a tempest. The people are scared, and the master and the boatswain and the mariners are trying to control the ship so that it doesn't meet a shipwreck. We have seen that they were called to bring down the top sail, which reduces the speed of the boat of the ship, thereby saving it from the wind. In this play, we also see the class system which I told you about. Like if you see the way the master addresses the boatswain, he says, "Speak to the mariners, we run out of ground." Means he's talking to him with authority because he is higher in the class as compared to boatswain. Similarly, we also see when boatswain talks to the mariner, he also maintains the same class. Means he talks to them as if it's an order. But on the other hand, we also see boatswain addresses them lovingly. He says, "My hearts, cheerly, cheerly." So he is calling them close to their heart. We see Alonso, who comes onto the deck and asks for master. Boatswain asks him to go down to the cabin, and at that moment Gonzalo reminds him that he has the king on board with them. On this, boatswain asks Gonzalo that if he is the counselor, can he stop these elements or command these elements to silence, to stop. The elements here are the wind, the waves, the storm, etc. Which Gonzalo cannot, because this class system, that is, he is superior to boatswain and he is the counselor, still he cannot control the elements of nature. After saying this, boatswain moves out of the stage, and Gonzalo says that in this fellow I see marks of getting hanged. If it is true, if fate is true, then this fellow is going to be hanged and will not drown to death. So if boatswain doesn't drown to death, that means everyone on the ship will be saved. So Gonzalo is being optimistic. So from here we will continue. So re-enter boatswain. Re-enter boatswain. Boatswain, down with the top mast. So he says, he's talking to his mariners. He says, pull down the top mast or the top sail. If you remember, I had shown it to you earlier. Yare, lower, lower. Quickly bring it lower, lower. Bring her to try with main course. Here, bring her is the ship. He says, let the ship sail close with the wind, because the ship is moving towards the shore, and as close they move towards the shore, the water will become shallow, and at any moment the ship may touch the bottom and may be destroyed. So he's trying to say, bring down the top mast, that's the top sail, and move along with the wind so that we can go back to the main course, that is, move away from the shore and into the main water. Then a cry within. There is a cry within, means someone is crying inside, maybe in the cabins, and boatswain says, So boatswain says, a plague upon this howling. Means here plague is referred to as a curse, because at that time plague was a disease for which no medicine was there. So it was taken as a curse. They are louder than the weather of our office. Means they are, who is louder? The sound of the people who are down there in the cabins as they cry. He says their sound is louder than the weather of our office. Means what is their office? Their office is the deck where they are trying to manage the ship so that it doesn't get wrecked. So the noise on the deck is, he's comparing the noise with the noise on the deck, and he says the cry within is even louder than the voice of the weather and then the sound of the weather on the deck. Re-enter Sebastian, Antonio, and Gonzalo. Yet again. So he says, yet you people are here again. Who says? Bosun. What do you hear? Means what do you want that you have come on the deck again? Shall we give over and drown? Means do you want us to give up and drown? Us means the mariners and bosun. So he asks these three people, that is Sebastian, Antonio, and Gonzalo, if they want these people to give up and drown. Have you a mind to sink? Means mind here means want. Do you think or do you want to sink in this sea? Sebastian, a plague on your throat. Once again, here also plague is a curse. He says, let there be plague on your throat. It's a curse. You bawling. Bawling means crying. Crying means like who is just shouting at other people. Blasphemous. Blasphemous means disrespectful. Incharitable. Incharitable means who is harsh, who is unkind dog. So Sebastian calls bosun a dog, who is bawling means who is crying, who is blasphemous means who is disrespectful, and who is incharitable, who is unkind. So do we see some sort of caste system coming in here, class system coming in here also? Because Sebastian has nothing in his hand, he cannot do anything to save the boat. But still, the person who is trying his best to save the boat, he is calling him names. He is calling him crying, disrespectful, unkind, and also a dog. So bosun gets irritated, bosun gets angry, because he knows at this moment, excuse me, at this moment on the ship, class system does not work. It is he who has to save the boat, first for himself and then for the other people. So bosun says, work you then. Means, okay, you come and work, try to save the ship. I'm giving up, you work in my place. Antonio, hang, cur, hang. Hang, cur means a dog. So he says, you are a dog, you should be hanged. You insolent noisemaker. Insolent again means disrespectful, insulting. He says, you are a disrespectful, insulting noisemaker. We are less afraid to be drowned than thou art. Means we are not afraid to drown as compared to what you are. Antonio is trying to show his courage, but actually, do you think he's not scared of getting drowned? He's also scared of getting drowned. Only thing is, he's just saying it for the sake of showing down bosun. Gonzalo, I'll warrant him for drowning, though the ship were no stronger than a nutshell. He says, I guarantee he won't drown. He here is bosun, won't drown. Even if this ship were as fragile as an shell, as a nutshell. So he says, even if this ship had been a very weak ship like a nutshell, still I can assure you, I can guarantee you that bosun is not going to drown and die. Bosun, lay her a hold, a hold. He says, lay her a hold means keep the ship sailing. Keep the ship sailing, do not let it move towards the shore. Set her 2 courses. Set her means set up her 2 courses, means he's asking to raise the foresail and the mainsail. Off to sea again, off to the main sea again. Put down the sails and let the ship move with the wind, and we will slowly take it away into the main waters instead of it slowly cruising towards the shore. Lay her off the shore. He says, move the ship off the shore and bring it into main water. Re-enter mariners, they are now all wet. Mariners, all lost, to prayers, all lost. The mariner says that we have lost everything, the ship cannot be controlled any longer, we are going to get destroyed. So to prayers means let us pray for our lives. All lost means we have lost the battle against the storm and we are going to sink now. So bosun, what must our mouths be cold? So he says, what? Are we going to get drowned? Are we going to fall into this cold sea, ice cold sea? Gonzalo, the king and prince at prayers. Let's assist them, for our case is as theirs. So he says, as this news has come, the king and the prince are praying down in their rooms. Let us assist them, means let us join them. For our case is as theirs, means our condition is as theirs, means now all of us are going to drown. Sebastian, I am out of patience, means I have lost my patience. Patience on whom? Patience on bosun and the mariners, that they will save the ship. On this, Antonio says, we are merely cheated of our lives by drunkards. Merely means totally. We have been totally cheated of our lives by these drunkards. Here the drunkards refers to the mariners or the sailors. This wide-chapped rascal, would thou mightiest lie drowning. This wide-chapped rascal means, wide-chapped means big mouth. The person who talks too much, the person who shouts too much. Here it is referred to bosun. He says, this wide-chapped rascal, would thou mightest lie drowning. The washing of 10 tides. Now, it was in that era that pirates would be killed and left hanging on the shore till 10 tides passed. So this is what a punishment which Antonio is asking for bosun. Gonzalo, he will be hanged yet, means even if this punishment is given, still he is going to be hanged. So we are going to be saved according to this, because he is not dying by drowning in the sea. Though every drop of water swear against it, means He will be hanged, as I had said, though every drop of water swear against him. Though every drop of water say no, that bosun is going to die by drowning, still, according to me, he will be hanged to death. And gape at widest to glut him. And they have opened their mouth wide to glut means swallow him. A confused noise within. Mercy on us. And Gonzalo continues. We split means the boat is splitting, is breaking into pieces. Farewell, farewell my wife and children. Farewell brother. We split, we split, we split. Exit bosun. Antonio. Let us all sink with the king. Sebastian. Let's take leave of him. Means let us all sink with the king and let us take leave of him means let us go and say goodbye to him. Exit Antonio and Sebastian. Try to imagine this scenario. Everybody is scared. They don't know what to do. Their death is certain because the ship has now collapsed and they are all going to fall into the water. Gonzalo is equally scared. So he says in his last speech in this scene, Gonzalo, now would I give 1,000 furlongs of sea for an acre of barren land. Now what is a furlong? Furlong is a measure of distance which is equivalent to 220 yards. Excuse me. So he says, I'm ready to give 1,000 furlongs of sea for an acre of barren land. So he's not saying, I want just an acre of land. He says, even if it's a barren land, I'm ready to take it in exchange of 1,000 furlongs of sea. Long heath means with low plants. Even if that barren ground has low plants. Brown furs means shrubs. Actually it means spring shrubs. So even if there are spring shrubs on it, anything. So he says, I just want 1 acre of barren land which may have anything on it. I don't care. In exchange of 1,000 furlongs of sea. The wills above be done, but I would fain die a try death. Means let what fate has decided, let it be done. Means the wills here means let what fate has decided, that is our death. Let death come, but let it come as a try death. Fain means I would happily die. Fain is happily. So he says, I would happily die a try death. Means whatever fate has decided, that is death, I am ready to accept that and I will happily die a try death. With that we come to the end of Act 1, Scene 1. We will continue with this in the next class. We will do the revision of this scene as well as we will do certain other important things. For example, the relevance of this scene and the importance of this scene and the analysis of this scene. That will be in the next turn whenever we meet again. So with that we come to the end of today's session. Thank you so much. Take care.